we go. You can record there. Okay, so welcome everybody. We may get more people joining a little bit later, but generally it's a select few that come to this, which is nice. It means that I don't have to close microphones and things, which and kind of skip around people. So it's kind of nice to be able to see that. But the waiting room is disabled now, so people can jump in. So we may get a few more people joining us. Okay, so Emma, this was your idea. So would you like to tell us about?
I know it was, wasn't it? I think it's because I always get asked by my dancers. I think one of the most commonly asked questions is how do you find music? How do you choose music to dance to? And where do you find it? And I think they think I've got the answers. And actually, if I'm honest, it's just as frustrating for me sometimes because I think as teachers, you'll probably feel it as well. You do get a bit stuck in a rut with your music, and so it's so nice to be able to um, get some new kind of inspiration from somewhere. Um, so yeah, I thought I'd just put it out there, but not just that, but like you said, it's everything to do with music, really. So whatever, if people have questions, then fabulous. But yeah, that was my idea. That's where it stemmed
Yeah,
from.
that's
Okay.
brilliant.
Sure.
Hi Rachel, nice to have you with us.
Hello.
Okay, so I suppose we've got the fallbacks, which are things like Spotify and YouTube. So they're kind of like the obvious ones and things. So we have our Facebook group. So if anybody knows a specific kind of playlists or that kind of thing that they can post in there that they've found useful tracks on, that would be quite useful. I've been looking on Facebook and there's various music discussion groups, one of which Rachel runs, so which is always useful to have the person who runs the group here as well. And that's a really interesting group. Usually it's tracking down tracks that have no longer available from Egypt, which is kind of quite helpful as well. So that's on Facebook. That's the Bellydance music discussion group. So if you're interested, have a little look at that, and we shall pop that in the community chat as well, all the links and things on there. I did find another one I was looking on Facebook just recently, and it's arabesque, Turkish, and various other music, which you could have a look at if you like. I will post it into the Facebook group too. And it's basically lots of people's links from YouTube, so I think it's more, you know, independent artists kind of work. So yeah, there's a few like that as well. There's also a tribal music matters, but when I looked at it, it's kind of a little bit old now, and there's only like one person posting on it other than me. So I'll pop those links in just in case. But there is a guy that does a lot of belly dance music on there for tribal fusion, so you might be interested in that. So those are the things I found. Anybody's got any resources they want to share with us that I haven't mentioned there at all?
I find Zara's online monthly magazine, Zamina, that's been a really good source for like very current music that perhaps we wouldn't necessarily um find out about till perhaps however many months down the line when it kind of filters and comes over here. Um, and I love the fact that when Zara shares a piece of music, she tells you the background to it, either like regarding what the song's about or the artist or why they've produced that song. So I that's been a really good resource for me. And I have just downloaded, well, I say downloaded, it's not, I think I've pre-ordered um Zara's new album that she's been working on. Um, I'm going to be honest, I didn't buy her first one. Um, Money was just a bit tight at that moment, but I've bought the second one because I think it's really nice again that she is putting in all this time to produce music, but music for dancers as well, and which I think is really useful to have. So I'm excited to be able to hear that when trying to thread my
Mm-hmm.
needle. I can't multitask. To get a needle threader like we talked about in week one. Um, but yeah, so those are the two things that I kind of wanted to mention, but I'm sure there's plenty of other resources out there as well.
Yeah, Zara kind of needs some support for the album, doesn't she? So
Yeah,
please, if you can do the pre-sale beforehand, that would be great, and we will link to it
yeah,
as well in the group as well, so you can have a look at that. She's got a couple of offers on as well. You can buy a workshop with her too with it, and get the pre-sale order too. So,
yeah.
well, the other thing to mention is Shazam. Whenever I go to a Hafla,
Oh
I
yeah.
Oh
Shazam
yeah,
everything.
Shazam. Yeah.
Glad I'm not the
Yeah.
only person who's there shamelessly
Yeah.
shazamming.
Oh no,
Because
no,
I
no.
literally did it at Shirley's Hafler last week. There was a drum solo. It was actually the drum solo from the show back, and you know me, I love a drum solo. And I was like, oh, I haven't heard this one. So out came my phone and Shazammed it. I love it. And then I
Hi,
just quickly
Shirley.
screenshot it and then put it away. And then at
I
the
am
end of the
too.
night, I just get them all out again. So yeah, I love Shazam as well.
the other really cunning thing you can do is you can go and watch videos of like current belly dancers in Cairo on Instagram, and then you can Shazam them.
Ah, yeah, good idea.
Oh,
I've done that as well, Rachel.
Because yeah, I love Zara's music corner as well, but also for getting more current stuff.
yeah.
Just see what's going out in all the
Yeah,
videos on
that's
social
great.
media from the trendy dancers, and then get in there with Shazam. That's my sneaky one.
That's a really good idea, actually. Really, really good. Are there any particular kind of people you follow on Instagram for that at all?
There's not anyone that I particularly follow in order to steal their music, but like dancers who I really like at the moment, who are quite trendy in Cairo. There's Boosie. I like Boosie. There's Heart Belly Dancer, I think is her Instagram name. Hende Sherihan, and especially it's the dancers who are dancing in the discos in Cairo that you can get music from, because the ones who are dancing placed with live bands, then Shazamming it isn't going to do anything. But if they're dancing to recorded music in a disco, you can Shazam it and you can find it.
Good tip. Very good tip. Absolutely. Hi, Shirley. You kind of snuck in the middle of a
I did. I
conversation.
was having trouble getting in. I've got a cold tonight, so
Oh,
I'm sort of
no.
feeling a bit, but I
Oh,
was struggling to get in, so I missed the first bit. I apologise.
it's fine. Better late than never is my take on everything, always.
I'm a big Spotify fan when it comes to both listening to new music because they suggest different, different artists. Have you heard this particular piece? Or they'll put together a list of new music for you to listen to, so that can be useful.
Yeah.
Um, but again, Shazam, I'm a big watching YouTube videos and things and Shazamming the music. Then it's always, if I can't find it on Shazam, or sometimes I'll ask the dancer, what is this piece of music? It's so beautiful, and they'll often quite happily share that information with you. Sometimes it's difficult because even if they've shared it, you then can't find it anywhere, and you think, well, I can't be a pain to this person. Um, and it's often difficult to find music because it's quite often on somebody's CD somewhere or something, and if you're not aware of which CD they've got it off or whatever, it's difficult to find. Um, but yeah, constantly on the lookout, trying to source something that speaks to you, because it's so personal, isn't it? Music,
Mm.
so very personal. That there's music some dancers love, and I just think I can't. It just, this particular track doesn't do it for me. Yet I find another piece that just envelops you, and you think, this is just wonderful. I must dance to this, and then that gets you then. But it's a constant um, lookout, really, for a nice piece.
Yes, I know. I know the feeling, absolutely. I used to use Amazon Music, and it used to be brilliant because you could just like say, write a track and put a name of a track, and they'd give you like millions and millions of different people who've done the same track. But they've changed it all, and every time I kind of like click into Amazon Music now, they do like a random select. It's like, that's not the track I wanted. Why are you playing something so random? So I'm rather annoyed with them for that.
So I've got a dog climbing on my knee at the moment.
Oh, lovely. Hello.
He's a big one as well.
Oh my
Thanks,
gosh, he
Stuart.
Oh
is.
my
Yeah.
God.
Oh, oh. Oh my God, Rachel's dog
Chased
as
it
well.
off.
Very
He's a
different.
nutcase.
Do you have to pay
Oh,
for Amazon Music? 'Cause I've never really used that.
yeah,
Oh,
I think that's the problem. I think that I don't basically. So I like to buy tracks like individually because I don't subscribe to
Yeah.
it. I think if I subscribe to it, then maybe that I would be able
Yeah,
to listen
go
to
on.
any track I wanted to.
So you
So I think
just
it's just
buy tracks, like ones that you can't find on Spotify. Is that how it works?
I tend to buy a track because I'm a musician. So
Anyway,
yeah, so I prefer to
This
buy
is
things from artists.
sure, yeah.
increasingly difficult. Like, I like to actually own
Yeah,
MP3s of all my music. I do not trust streaming, especially because I like to edit it often for gigs. And it's got more and more and more difficult to actually buy MP3s anywhere. Amazon's selection seems to have really gone downhill. I've observed that as well. I find the only thing where I can find what I want is normally iTunes. So I'm currently running the Windows version of iTunes on my
All right,
Windows laptop,
iTunes, yeah.
which isn't even supported anymore by Apple. And it stopped working on my own Wi-Fi. So now when I want to download stuff, I have to go to my friend's house and use her Wi-Fi, or it won't let
Oh,
me
wow.
download. It's getting really bad.
Mm.
That's scary because I've got so much music off iTunes. Then it's going to be difficult to download. It's going to be such a loss.
absolutely. Yeah,
Just
I'm.
want to say
I'm
thank you, Shirley, when you, I think, was it last year when I went
Yes,
to do the dance at Torquay and I couldn't get the music in the format that she wanted. So really, thank you so much
that's all right. It's
for
no
me
problem. I
for
like to
helping me
help
with
people if
that
I can.
because I would never have been able to do
No, that's no problem. No
that.
problem. We all pull together and help one another, don't we?
There
yeah.
used to be. Do you remember there used to be a thing on the computer? If you'd found something on YouTube, you used to be able to convert it to MP3,
I don't know
providing
how
it's a good,
I don't know how
providing it's a
safe it
good.
is.
Yeah. And the other thing is it's the quality of it, but um, providing it's like an official thing, I suppose you're not really supposed to because it's infringing copyright, isn't it? That's the
Mm.
problem. But I must admit, sneakily, I have in the past tried to remember how to convert something onto MP3. But that's just to play in the car and listen to it and get used to the music.
Yeah, no, well, if there's a piece of music I can't find anywhere because you like to support the artist as much as you can, if
That's
there's
it.
a piece of music off YouTube, because I know that there are sites, YouTube to MP3, but you've got to be so careful what you're downloading at the same time. Because
Yeah,
I
you got that right.
downloaded a virus once onto my computer and it was hell
Oh,
trying to get
yeah.
rid of it. Um, but that's when I employ somebody else to do it for me who's a bit cleverer than me. Um, the other one is chopping music and shortening it and lengthening it and adding bits. What do you all use? Do any of you
Audacity all the way.
Audacity?
and me.
Is it easy, Rachel?
It's a little bit finicky, but it is free, so you can just get it and mess about with it.
Yes. Yeah.
I've actually been toying with the idea of doing an online class on editing music in Audacity, actually, because I
Oh,
was editing some tracks the other day and suddenly thought, oh, maybe people would like to know how to
Can
do
you
this.
please add me to your list when you decide to do it? Because
I
I
can
would
pop something
love,
in the Bellydance community chat group if I do this. I
yeah.
thought, oh yes, I should probably mention that. I should probably gauge interest.
me too.
Because I've got a lot of tips and tricks from doing it over the years now, because I'm very picky about how my music is edited, and it drives me up the wall if something has an obvious like jump in it where it's been edited.
Yeah.
So
There is
And
I
a
also,
think I think loads of people would really benefit from that and be really interested, Rachel, because a lot of the time, like we all know when it's a hafla, there has to be a limit to the length of the track, just
Mm.
because purely of how many performers. And sometimes I'll say to dancers, I'm really sorry, but I can't have like a 5 minute track or 5.5 minute track. And they'll say, oh, well, I don't know how to shorten it. And I'm like, well, I can't offer to do that for everyone. I just haven't got the capacity. But I do genuinely think people just don't know how to do it. So I think a workshop along those lines would be brilliant.
I think I'm
So
going to have to put that on the agenda, maybe as a summer holiday thing or something.
yeah, do it. I will sign up too.
I'm going to kind of disappear and eat some dinner now, but I'm kind of here in the background.
Okay, that's good to
Because
know.
sometimes you can cut the middle bit out, can't you?
Yes.
You know, if you find a piece of music you like that's 6 minutes long, it doesn't have to be, because sometimes the ending is really good. You don't want to cut, and the beginning's really, really good. So you don't really want to cut the beginning out because you'll miss a kind of nice piece of majesty. You'll miss the introduction, or there's a bit at the end that completes the piece. So maybe the bit that you want is to chop out is the bit in the middle, and that's where you need some sort of program whereby you can do that.
Yeah. There is it's simpler than Audacity, because Audacity, you can record instruments into it as well. So it gets kind of confusing because you've got that kind of level of it. So it's a multi-track sequencer. Whereas there are certain wave editors that you can use where you can kind of do that. If I just bring it up, actually, see if I can share a screen with you and show you. This is a wave editor that I use, and this is really for doing things like Shirley was saying. Here we go. Oh, if I bring it up. Okay, so, and I'm going to share the screen with you. Share screen. There's my wave editor. Okay, so there's my wave editor. So this is basically how it looks when you bring it up. And if I just choose a file, so I'll just open something, any old thing. Oh no, that's my music. Okay. So here we go. So I'm opening the file. Hopefully it'll come up. I'm hoping my computer doesn't fall over. There it is. Okay, so this is your wave, and this is what the music looks like when you put it into an editor. And there are two parts on this because it's a stereo file. So if I were to just play this here, so you start to hear a drum track. So if I wanted to get rid of that, so I can just kind of pause it, stop it there. Okay, so if I just play it again, and I can, okay, so I wanted to come back to that first dum kind of sound here. So if I can see if I can just move it back to that. Okay, so I'll try and cut it like that. That's all I need to do is just highlight that, and then I've got this in the way. Can I cut that there with the scissors? Okay, so, and then I can play that. And I've got the first dum of the bar, which is quite lucky, but you can see it and you can make it bigger as well. So, and you can do things like fade it in. So this is the fade in button, so I can just pause it here. So if I wanted to fade the music in instead, I would do that, and then that would fade in now. So if I just play that. Oh, actually, that's just playing a small part. So now I've got a fade in, and I can do the same with a fade out, or I could take a lump out of it in the middle if I wanted to. So this is kind of like a really basic kind of editor, which can be really a lot easier to use. So just to give you a kind of an idea anyway, so let me stop that. Okay, so let me just stop the screen share. I don't want a screen share. You can see how often I do screen share, can't you? Because I don't know how to unstop it. Okay, stop it. Screen sharing, stop share, on the red button there. Oh, there we go. Sorry.
That's worth playing with.
It is, that's it. I mean, it's a free piece of software. It's quite simple. It's very simplistic. Audacity is a little bit harder to deal with. I've used multi-track sequencers, and I just couldn't switch my brain into their way of doing it. So, but yeah, Audacity is a good one. But that one, I'll put a link to a download. It's a free download, and you can just have a play, and it's quite simple.
Yeah, it's worth
Thank
it.
you. Thank you.
And also, it's worth noting, because if you're anything like me, you almost get a bit scared of technology. But literally, there is always the undo button. So if you cut a chunk out and then you think, "Oh God, I wasn't meant to cut all that out," you just click undo and it goes back in again. And then you just play, you play with it, and you can zoom and zoom and zoom. So you're like down to milliseconds. So the more you play around with it, the easier those type of
Thank you.
things that are, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would always say have several versions of your track saved in different folders as well anyway,
Mm.
just in case you do snip too much and you've lost the original somewhere.
Yeah.
So just to make sure you've got backups. And also if you think, oh, I kind of like that, but it's not quite there yet, just save it as a different name and then you've got that to go back to if the next thing you do is just catastrophic and then you can't do the undo for some reason.
So these things with Audacity and Wave Editor, you have to buy your own tracks. You can't do it with
Yes.
Spotify.
You can, yeah, you can't do it from streaming.
Sure.
That's not
Okay.
a problem. Yeah, and
I
this is a
understand.
huge problem for dancers now because we like to
Yes.
have our own edits, we like to have our own stuff, and
Yes.
sometimes you're trying to like do a show and they want you to just tell you what it is on Spotify, but there's so many
Yeah,
different
yeah.
versions, and
Yeah, I
sometimes you want to
understand.
fade a track to something else. It's
No,
just
yeah.
it
Yeah.
is very
Okay.
difficult. Yeah.
Because
Hmm.
sometimes you like an introduction off one track, and you might want to add it to something else that you want
Hmm.
a minute from, and then there's another bit at the end you'd like to finish off with. So you can create your own piece, can't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. I would just say, obviously, if it's a track with lyrics, just be mindful of what you're kind of cutting
Cutting
out,
out, yes.
because yeah, and so that it still would make sense in I know a lot of our audiences in Haflers and stuff perhaps wouldn't know that anyway, but I know that I know some artists get very funny about their pieces of music being edited and cut for that kind of reason, I think, because it loses that essence and that feel. Um, but we all do it, and sometimes there is a need for it. But I tend to, especially if it's like an Arabic pop one where it might have a repetition of the chorus like quite a few
Yes.
times, it's
Yeah, yeah.
perfect then to just chop out a chunk of repetition. It's easier to then marry up, and also you kind of feel like you're not really losing that important
Yeah, I think
feel of the
I was
piece.
probably talking more about tracks that haven't got any vocal.
Yeah, like just lyrical. Shirley, at your Hafler, I sent you a Spotify link for the one of the pieces that I taught for the
Yes,
workshop.
yes,
So do you like, I'm only asking because obviously for my Haflers I create a playlist on the laptop and I
yeah,
ask everyone to send me like MP3 and I create a playlist.
yeah,
But do you get Spotify up on your laptop for a Hafler?
yes.
Am I just being really stupid? I only thought I could use Spotify on my phone.
No, I've got Spotify on my laptop, on my iPad, and on my phone.
And so you
It's
would
the
just
same
sign
one.
in.
It's the same
Yeah.
account. Yes.
Oh, I'm so silly. Why didn't I know that? Oh, well, I do now, so thank
Yeah,
you.
you do now. So yes, so when I run a Hafler, um, a lot of people send me their music on Spotify. Some people send it me by MP3. So what I have is a multiple, well, two sources. I've got my Spotify and links, and I've also got the rest of the music which I upload to Windows Media. Windows
Yeah, that's
Media.
what I use. Yeah.
So, and when I do my music, I try to make so I'm not jumping between the two all of the time. So I'll do a chunk of people who want to dance and their tracks are Spotify, and then I can swap to Windows for the last bit, or so I'm not going every other track in between the two apps, or it becomes hard work then to keep jumping on the laptop between the apps. I was talking to someone the other day about if people send you the music on MP3, uploading it to your phone. Because I've got an Apple phone. How do you upload music to an Apple phone? And they'll say, well, you can do it. But I just find having a laptop in front of me, I feel more in control than trying to do it on my phone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Perhaps it's being older and having rubbish eyesight. Glasses for everything. I need my glasses are like this all the time.
I think different things work for different people, and I think
I
that's
think you're right there, Lynn. Yeah.
yeah. And the idea of doing Spotify and doing other people's MP3s like fills me with horror because you're switching between two programs all the time.
Yes.
So that's
Yeah.
amazing that you do that. But the thing to remember is not every single track is on Spotify, and some people
No,
do like to have their pieces
Mm,
edited. So
mm.
it's
but it's so much easier for me
yeah,
as an organizer if people can just send me the Spotify link and I can load it onto Spotify. That is so
Yeah.
much easier than sending me the music via MP3, then me uploading it, then uploading it to the app. Um, and once I've sorted out who is going to be in each section, I then try to make sure that the tracks are not similar one after the other, because we've got a lot of tribal dancers up in the Midlands as well. So you don't want 3 or 4 tribal dancers together. You want to make sure that you've got some soloists mixed in as well in between them, and you're trying to create these things, and then you're going to have to start worrying because you've got two different medias that you're getting the music from. So this is all what people don't realise when you organise
oh, they don't.
properly,
No.
what you have to do.
Mm, mm.
The other thing, can I ask, is when you go somewhere and the internet isn't great, how do you cope with that? Because I assume, Shirley, when you've got your laptop or you working off your phone like you do in class,
Yeah.
did you have to rely on the internet then to access Spotify? You
No,
don't. It's
because
stored on your device, is it?
what I do is once I've created a Hafler list, I
Hmm.
download the Hafler list because I pay for Spotify that I can use it outside. I pay an amount each month so I can use it outside. I download it onto my laptop, and it's there. It's
Ah, right.
it's not there that I can share it as a MP3 file, but it's downloaded onto Spotify on my computer. But I pay for that.
Right. So these are all things that people don't realise you have to pay for.
No, because I mean it's the same thing that when I run a class, I download. I've got a class list. Some class lists get too long, and I have to keep creating a new one because I keep finding new music. And I've got live class 1, live class 2. Oh dear, live class 3. Because you suddenly end up with loads of music, and you're going like this in class trying to find the track that you want. But what I do is download it because I pay to download it to my phone, and then I plug it into my little boombox, and I'm away. I don't have to have a Wi-Fi signal where I'm teaching.
Mm.
But you know
Right.
this. You know this. Obviously, Sue, you didn't.
No, because I thought, well, when we do the outside fates, how do you do it with a sketchy internet? Yeah. So I
It's because
realise now
it's downloaded.
it's downloaded. Right. Yeah.
Thought I recognised that twang.
Hello.
Hiya. You
Hello.
all
Put the
right?
kettle on. Yes, thank you.
Good, good. I thought I recognised that voice.
Hello. Hmm.
So yes, that's what I get up to anyway.
Yeah.
Do
Right.
you do the same, don't you, Lynn?
No, actually, I always stick with MP3s, always have done. Yeah, I've got a couple of different programs that I use, but I just like to have the physical thing so that I can edit it
Yeah.
always. And also, as well, that one of the programs that I use, you can like loop it, so you can kind of in class, so you can loop just a single section. You can
Yeah.
slow it down, you can speed it up as well, which is always useful too. I
Yeah.
don't know if Spotify allows you to do that, so I don't
No, no. I mean, I do have a program that I can slow music down and speed it up, but it has to be owned by me, which of course Spotify isn't.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
How
Yeah.
much? Sorry. I
That's all right.
mean, how much? So I don't know anything about this subject. So how much is it like if you want to buy your own piece of music, like MP3 or
If you
like
go to
Amazon or
iTunes, it's a
whatever?
pound,
Yeah. Okay.
It's
99p or
normally
79p.
Okay.
something like 80p to a pound,
Yeah.
Oh,
maybe a couple
good.
of
That's
pounds if it's a
good.
really long track.
Oh, great. Okay.
But the thing I like about buying the individual MP3s as well is you don't have to buy a whole album. And so
Mm.
sometimes I brought albums in the past and it was just for one track. And I remember a time where I was just like, okay, so we've got this album. Quite a few people in the class have got it because I don't like to kind of like give the music out because of the copyright
Yes.
issues and all this. I'm talking like 20 years ago. And it's just like, okay, we've got this album. And I tried, we'd done a couple of choreographies off the album and I tried to do one and I hated the music, but I thought, well, it's popular and it's a nice one, and but I hated the tracks and I could not remember the choreography because I hated the track so much. So never choreograph something you don't like. It's not a good idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you have to listen to it so often, not just to
Yeah.
choreograph it, but when you're teaching it as well. And
Even
yeah,
if you
it's
do
just
like it, there's always a chance that you end up hating it by the time you've choreographed
exactly.
it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, there's that too.
Drives you nuts, Alice. It
The
does.
amount of times my dancers say, "Why don't you reuse choreography? You've come up with so many over the years." Like I have, I've got over 100 choreographies or however many. And I think, yeah, it's true. They don't realize the hours, like how many times I've played these little sections to choreograph bloody 30 seconds of it, and then teach it in class for another few months, and then perform it. And then I'm like, no, I just want to shelve it. It has to be really good for me to actually get it out again. And sometimes it won't be till like 8 years on.
But that's normally the one that they all want to remember and they all want to dance every time too.
I know.
Mm.
Oh, crazy.
At this point, I feel like one of my catchphrases to my students is, "You know, I hate choreography."
Oh, when I dance myself, yeah, I don't. I very rarely choreograph my own dances. Very
Mm.
rarely, because I don't get. Well, I can't. I can't. If I can't put my feelings into it, if it's choreographed. Whereas you can, and I spend enough time choreographing for students without choreographing for myself. Are you the same, Lynn? Do you choreograph for yourself?
I find that to do a choreography, I have to practice it and practice it and practice it. My brain isn't good. So what I prefer is to have a framework because if I don't have a framework, then sometimes I can get a bit repetitious. It's just like, no, I'd like to put this in there somewhere. It's kind of good to have that because then you're not
Mm.
thinking, oh, my mind's gone blank on that kind of thing. So I have a bit of a framework, but every time I dance, it's different. So it makes it kind of best of both worlds, I think. But
Mm.
how about you, Emma?
Rachel, do you choreograph?
Students, yes, because sometimes you have to.
Yes.
And then I'll be there in class going, "Oh God, I've choreographed this for you, but choreography." But for myself, rarely. I have done it a few times in the last few years as a challenge, but mostly I'm in the same kind of place as Lynn. I much prefer to have like a loose structure or just to know the music really well and basically just kind of know what I'm going to do.
You a choreography girl, Emma?
Wow. I always have been. And then I think you saw my post like last week following Shirley's Hafler. And I don't know if it's an age thing, like the longer I've been dancing or what it is, but I always used to choreograph like right down to like every count. I wanted to know where my placement was, what my arms were doing, like everything. And that worked really well for me. But if you're a bit of a perfectionist, like I am as well, if you mess up a little bit of choreography, it almost shows because you can't get over the fact that you forgot this little chunk of choreography, even though everyone else goes, "Oh, well, I wouldn't have known," but you know. And
Mm.
then, yeah, recently, I've I've just thought, actually, I don't want to put that pressure on myself. I just want to enjoy the music and dance, and that's what I did at Shirley's Hafler. And that's what I did at Torquay. And I knew the music very well. So some people said, "Oh, I didn't know you were improvised, and I would have thought it was choreographed." And it wasn't. It's just the fact that I did know the music very well. So I knew where all the little accents and stuff were. But it just allows you that kind of freedom to just, yeah, to just play off the audience or depending on what mood you're in, or even like, I know you'll get this, Lynn, like how fatigued you are that day as to how much you can give in a performance. Um, so I think I'm coming round. I don't think I'll be ever be 100% like always improv, but I do, the longer I dance, the more I'm doing structured improv. So there'll be bits where I know what I want to do, but there'll be other bits where I'm just going to allow myself that freedom. And actually, it's a really nice thing. So yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
Definitely. I've moved to improv completely now. I like to have a start where I know what it looks like. I like to have an end, so I know what that looks like. And then the rest of it, I'll just listen to the music all the way through. I'll know where the repeats are, the choruses, whatever you call them, all those, the bridges, all that, whatever you call them in Arabic terms. But you know where all that is. You know where the accents are, the feelings. That's the biggest thing for me now, is knowing the feelings, because it's from here, isn't it? If it's from here and you know what the song's about, I think you can convey it, and if you can connect with them, that's my biggest thing. It's not always about being perfect when you improv, is it? It's just about enjoying it and putting it across. That's become my thing now, I think.
Oh,
Good. I'm delighted.
Thank you, Shirley.
You've taught her well, Shirley. How
Yeah.
about you, Ansu? How do you like choreography?
To be honest, I prefer choreography because I think I don't know enough like combos that are going to sort of go one after the other to the music. Um, if it is Bollywood, though, I'm a bit more into improvisation because I sort of understand the song, and I probably, listened to it a million times. So on the Bollywoods or the maybe on the Indian classical, I could do that. But in terms of belly dance, I sort of prefer to do like combinations, like, okay, this is going to be the chorus. But I remember Shirley taught me very well, counting beats of 8 and 16s and 32. So I know how to break it down. So that's helped me a great deal. And that's how I do when I do like a dance or something, I take that into account. Yeah,
Good.
yeah. But
And Sue,
I like to mix belly dance with Bollywood, so I
that's
do a
what I
bit
was going to
of
say.
mixture.
She's got this fantastic fusion, a natural fusion, and it's perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Yeah. Whereas I think all of you are very, very good at belly dance. You're very, very good. Your standard and everything, your teachers or, got a lot of experience. And sometimes I feel, I don't have that much, I would say. And I've turned 60 now and I haven't been very well. So that sort of like threw me back a bit. But I'm trying to get back out there again.
Good.
And so that's why I said I'll come and join your, these sessions. I missed I think the first, was it one or two? But yeah. So yes,
yeah, no, it's great if you can come when
Brilliant.
you can.
thank you.
It's just to be an informal chat so that you can just kind of ask questions. You don't really
Yeah.
get a chance
And
to.
I'm in London and you're all up north. So whenever I see something, I say, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then I know I can't do it in the end because something comes up. But hopefully there's one happening in Birmingham, May the 15th, 16th, 17th. So it's only a couple of weeks ahead. And I was supposed to do the Bollywood package. And then the teacher, right at the last minute, he pulled out because he had an emergency and he couldn't come over. And then they got a second teacher, and then for some reason he couldn't do it either. So now they've told me to do the belly dance package, but I'd feel like it'll be a bit more difficult to do that package. So she said, just do it because you'll learn a lot from it. So I'm going to do it anyway. I was hoping to perform and but obviously the Bollywood was not happening. So I'm going to go there anyway, just enjoy myself, and just yeah.
It's what life's about, Nancy.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Where are you based, Rachel?
Just finding the unmute button. I'm in Manchester,
All right.
Oh.
Right.
so I
So
I
you're
think I'm
further north than
currently
us.
more northern than anyone else.
Yeah.
Although, as you can tell, I'm not actually northern. I'm actually from Bristol, but I haven't lived there for a long time.
Right.
Well,
I
that's
didn't
why the
know where you were
internet's good.
based.
Yeah, that's why the internet's good. We can all connect up. That's great.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Any other questions about the music side of things at all? Is there anything that you're kind of, I don't know, interested in, or is it just finding the right tracks?
I think for me it is. It's just even if I troll, I don't know, like even Spotify. It used to be iTunes that I would troll, and now it's Spotify. But it can just be disheartening sometimes. I know within like 30 seconds of listening to a track if it's like got me or not. Um, and sometimes you can think, oh my God, I've just spent an hour and I've found like two. And it's a bit disheartening. But I do think, like Shirley said, Spotify's great in that it suggests playlists and it suggests, so actually it soon gets to know the type of music that you like, and then it brings up suggestions. So that's that's really positive. That's really good. Yeah. So it's not so much trawling now, I suppose. And I tend to just find a playlist, put it on when I'm doing like housework or something. And then if I suddenly think, oh, I like this one, I'll just add it to my favorites. And then like that's yeah, what I do.
That's what I was just going to say that I do as well. Like I put on, there are a couple of playlists that are really good because they get updated with new music. There's one called Arab Tunes, or they used to be. I think it might have disappeared this year, but the Arab Tunes playlist used to be a go-to. And there's like one on Spotify called Masr Gadid, New Egyptian. It's written in Arabic though, so it's a little bit trickier to find if you can't write Arabic, where they update it with like the latest Egyptian pop hits. So I put that on shuffle while I'm doing stuff, and then just I have a playlist that I just stick anything in that I like and then go and download it somewhere.
Because that's the other thing you can do on Spotify is if you like a particular style or whatever, you can put that in and see if there's a playlist for it. So you can put Magency playlist or anything, uh, and the playlists will come up and you can listen to somebody else's playlist because most of the time people's playlists are public. And also if you have dancers that are friends, Emma, then you can share your playlists with them.
Yeah, we did that, didn't we?
I
Did we
don't think
do that?
I've not done it with you. No, I've
Oh,
done
I
it.
did it with Sasha. I did it with Sasha.
Mm,
But we should do that. We should
yeah,
on the page later or tomorrow, just
yeah.
all,
Share
even
your
if we all just share
playlist.
like one playlist. Can you
Yeah.
imagine how much more music we'd have in a
Oh
week?
wow.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I would do that. I mean, mine are called random things. I call my playlist weird things. Well, not weird things, but like arms or um, smooth moves or something that just that,
Yes.
that I know I can quickly find.
Yes, I do the same.
Again, that they're public.
I've got a ridiculous number of playlists on there that I've made to share with my students because even though I was listening while I wasn't here, even though I don't play my class music from Spotify, I use it to make playlists that I can share with my students, even though I'm playing things from my own MP3s. Makes it a bit annoying when there's something that's off a Bellydance album that's not on Spotify that I then have to just put notes saying, and these tracks are missing because they're not on streaming services, you can buy them there. But yeah, I've got loads and loads and loads of class playlists on there that are all public, so I'm happy to share those.
Yeah, we have to have a share your favourite playlist.
Yeah, we'll do
Yeah,
that.
especially because I'm sure we all have quite probably slightly different tastes, but that's, again, you get stuck in a bit of a rut sometimes, I think, with the type of music that your go-to music is. So I think that would be nice to just have a bit of a variety. Yeah.
I've got a solo list that Shirley solos that if I dance for the next until I finish. I put it that way. If I dance until I get it, I'll never get all the tracks in that I've got saved on there. Oh dear.
The other thing to think about is it's all the different types of music, isn't it? It's all the different. I mean, like with all these things we do with Shirley, it can be Mwasha hat, it can be this, it can be that, it can be all sorts. And it's how people organise their playlist as well. Is it? Do you do it by different styles? Do you do it by whether it's Mwasha hat
Yes.
or you know? So
Yes.
do you categorise them all?
Yes.
And yeah, so do you know where to find them?
Yes. Because if I'm doing a Zoom class on the Saidi, for example, then I've got my playlist there.
Right.
So, you know, I'll get a playlist out. I've got about 15 tracks that I can do different things to. We can use that track for warm up, you know, whatever. So, but the whole playlist will be appropriate.
Right. I think when I first started with you, Shirley, and we were doing all different these types. I think I went onto the internet and I think I typed in Oriental music, and I went onto this official Oriental music site. I can't think what it is now. I've got it on my phone, but I can't go off this screen because otherwise I'll lose the Zoom thing. But you went on, and there was all these different sorts of this information. At the very bottom, this lady was on about track, you know, play tracks that she likes. So there's loads in there. If I can find it, I'll put the link in because again, there'll be a lot of, I suppose, modern pop, you know, songs, Arabic ones. So if I can find it, I'll link it and put it in.
Okay.
Changing the subject a bit, but this is reminding me of the subject of websites. Does everyone here know about the Maqam World website? Because this is a fantastic resource, not for finding like
Yes,
pieces of music dance, but for music information, especially rhythms and stuff.
What is it called? Sorry, I missed that.
It's called Maqam World. I'll see if I can stick it in the Zoom chats.
Okay.
It's really, 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 really useful. It's got audio samples for not all rhythms, but all of the kind of classical Arabic rhythms and some of the folk ones.
Oh, okay.
Then it's also got loads of information about maqams, which are the Arabic musical modes, which is a bit less relevant to dancers, but still interesting. And it's got like song samples and stuff for all of them.
all right.
Pam World.
I love this website. It's really useful, and also the guys who produced it have written a book, which there's a link to on here as well, Inside Arabic Music by Johnny Faraj and Sami Abu Shumais, which is just like a very comprehensive reference book about Arabic music.
Good, thank you.
I know sometimes I just sort of like hear like a nice warm-up song, and there was one. It's not actually Arabic or belly dance or bully. It's actually from Celtic Mists, and I think you must have heard from it. You know, I don't know. Is it Irish music? I'm not sure if it's
Yeah,
Irish. Yeah,
probably.
and it's really nice and. Loads of the ladies really like the music, you know, and they were asking me, "Oh, it's really nice, Sansu. Where is it from?" So sometimes you find music that's not really um, belly dance or Arabic or whatever, you know, the
But
sort of
there,
dance style you're teaching, whatever. But it's really nice to warm up or cool down to. Yeah.
yeah, but there is actually a link between Irish music and Arabic music. A lot
Is
of
there?
oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah, the Moors, you know, people have been traveling around Europe and the Middle East for thousands and thousands of years, and the Moors took things
right.
like the bodrum is related to the duf, but it's played with you play it with a beta in the Arabic music, but the frame drum itself like the duff that you see musicians play, is and even the tambourine. You know, they have the rek as Egyptian music, so it's travelled all around the world, and particularly in
Mm.
Irish music. And they also have bagpipes, which are actually Middle Eastern. They're not Scottish; they're Middle Eastern. And I was explaining to a lady this week who liked a track by Lana Del Rey that there was an oboe in it, and the oboe is a Middle Eastern instrument. If you think of the snake charmer's pipe, that it's kind of related to that, the shawm. So it's yeah, all of these things
Yeah,
have got
it's nice.
history. So and cross.
Yeah.
The
I can put
Irish
some
music collection is
Bollywood,
very
or I
interesting.
can put some belly bolly or classical music as well, which you might like. There's someone called A.R. Rahman. I don't know if you've heard
Yep.
of him.
Oh, it's my
Yeah, you know
favorite.
him. Okay, so you know. So I like the tracks, his old ones and new ones and from
Yeah.
films, because I've been watching films since I was a child, so from the 70s onwards, and I watch it all the way to the present. So, I'm sort of got a lot of interest in the sort of songs and films and what people are dancing to, and yeah, it's nice. It's nice to have that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I could see Rachel's itching to jump in because I know you're
Oh yeah.
wax nerd about the different instruments and things. So if you want to
Oh
comment on
right,
that,
okay.
please feel free to,
Oh
Rachel.
no, I was just saying the connection between Arabic music and Irish music is really interesting. I don't know so much about the historical side of that, but in terms of the musical features, there's a lot in common. As you say, there's like the relationship between the baran and the frame drum, but also Irish music is the only other type of music that I know of that has the thing where all of the instruments are playing the same melody but with their own ornamentations. This is a feature of Arabic music, it's a feature of Irish music. I think it's maybe a feature of jazz as well, but I don't think it's really a thing in anything else.
Ah, right.
Also, I was
That's
just going to
fascinating.
paste a link to a piece of music that I think is really cool. Do not dance to it because it is religious, but
Oh,
it is a mixture of Islamic religious music and Irish music by a group called the
oh,
Firdaus
okay.
Ensemble. It's really beautiful. It's definitely not belly dance music.
Because there's another track as well. I'll put it in that there's he can dance to this, but there's a track which goes in between Arabic and Irish, Arabic and Irish, Arabic and Irish, and it's it's always fascinated me. I like to be really good to dance to, but it'd be a good choreography for students. So I'll put it on the page if I can find it. I can't think what it is at the moment, but yeah, interesting.
Yeah, I mean
That's probably why
one
I
of the
like
things
it.
Yeah.
one of the things about Arabic music that differs from our Western music is it's not particularly got harmony in the same way that we have. So we have songs which have chords to them, whereas in the Middle East they don't do the chordal kind of arrangement. It's like Rachel was saying about having the lines of the song which people improvise around. So that's one of the differences
It's
too.
a trade-off because you can either have microtones or you can have chords, but you can't have both because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So in like Western European music, we've gone down the route of okay, we're going to have chords, which means we can't have microtones, and then Arabic music's gone the other way of we're going to have microtones, so we can't have chords.
Fantastic. I always find it fascinating.
It's basically the space between the notes as well. So we've got like we've divided it into the octave, whereas in the Middle East it's not divided. So it's my Rachel was saying about microtones. They've got notes in between our
Yeah,
octave
yeah.
and
Well,
the notes in the octave.
there's still a
Quarter,
concept of the
quarter
octave,
tones.
and that you can take something an octave higher or lower.
Yeah.
But oh god, I'm not gonna even get into this. It's it's too nerdy, it's too complicated. There's a each tone is divided into 12 commas, but in really traditional Arabic music, then they don't even use an even number of those. It's just totally like the note is what it is, and you just have to learn it from listening to somebody else play it, and then you know where it is, and it's in its really specific position.
Is
That's
this
that.
Makam you're talking
Makam,
about?
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I did Sue and we did I can't remember the lady's name now. We
Was
did
it
an
Maya
introduction.
Youssef?
Sorry?
Maya, somebody.
Maya
Maya,
Youssef.
somebody.
we did an introduction to Macam, and it blew my mind. I don't think I have a particularly strong ear for it, to be honest, to be able to recognise the different building blocks. But I found it fascinating, certainly. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done a couple of Maya Yusuf's kind of
That's it.
free online things when she's done them. And that's been really interesting. I also took oud lessons for a while, like 10 years ago,
Oh wow.
which that was a very interesting experience because I was learning from an oud player who he had learned by ear. He couldn't read music. And so he was teaching me in that really traditional way of like just showing me exactly how it had to be played and getting me to hear the note and getting me to sing it. And unfortunately, I can't remember how to play any of it now because it's been 10 years. But
It's a huge subject.
Absolutely, yeah. But very fascinating. Well, we've kind of made it to about an hour.
Yep.
So yeah, I think maybe that's a nice place to end, really. So
Yeah.
thank you so much all for your time.
Thank
And
you.
Thank you
the,
very much.
the
Thank
link that
you.
Rachel
Nice to
shared,
meet
I'll
some new
share.
people.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's what this is about as well, because you know it can be quite isolating if you're just online or you can't get to events and things, or if you've been ill and that kind of stuff. So just having these kind of chats is just nice to get people together, and also just to think slightly differently. You can be amazed how that can rejuvenate what you do. Just like some of the tips that we've had tonight, it's just going to I'm sure it's going to inspire me to do all sorts of things now. Thank you so much, all of you, for sharing, because it's beautiful. It's lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Really,
you.
really enjoyed that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
me too.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye,
Okay.
everybody.
Bye,
Thank you.
everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye. Bye-bye.